I've got a really nice piece of corned beef left over here, so I'm going to do something with that. And it'll make good sandwiches, no doubt about that, and that's an option. But I'm going to do something. One of my favourite things to do with corned beef is to make fritters. Who doesn't love a good fritter with a bit of tomato sauce on it? So anyway, I'm going to cut him up. He's a bit long. I'll just cut him in half, and we'll work with him this way. I'm just going to make some nice slabs here, pretty thick. Look at that. A lot of people I know who make corned beef fritters will shred them up and put it in with a batter. I do it a little bit different. I like to do it like this. I'm going to make it a battered chunk of corned beef. All right, so I've got a few there to keep us going. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put that aside now, and I'm going to mix up this batter because I want it to rest for a little bit while it's I'm getting everything else ready. Okay, I'm going to start up. I'll just mix up my wet ingredients here. I've got 2 eggs. I'm just going to crack them into a bowl. 1, 2. Nice eggs. 2 eggs in there. And I'm going to add a fair bit of milk to that. 2 tablespoons at least. I don't know, there's probably 250, 300 mils, I'm just guessing. I don't really know or care. It won't make any difference to me. I'm going to fluff it up with the world's smallest whisk. Pretty good. Grab some flour now. And I'm going to use probably 2 cups, I'm thinking. This is self-raising flour. So about 2 cups, that's going to make a pretty generous batter. Yep, that's what I want. And I'm going to add a bit of salt into that. Half a teaspoon exactly. I'll weigh it out in my handy. Yeah, that's definitely half a teaspoon. I'm lucky I've got all these high-tech measuring instruments with me. I'd get nowhere. Okay, dry ingredients to mix. Fluff up my milk and my eggs. They're going to go in there. Mix it in. I'm going to make this batter so it's pretty wet, and I want it to be able to pour, but not as liquidy as the milk and egg, but I still want it to be able to pour off. So slightly runny, I guess, is what I'm looking for. Whisk that in hard. Okay, that's all fallen off my whisk. So that's about the perfect amount of moisture content I want in there. I'm pretty happy with that. Yep, that's about right. I don't want it to stick there and hang. I want it to slowly drip off. That's fantastic. That's going to be a good batter mix there. Best thing to do that is cover it up and let it sit for about an hour, and then give it another whisk and get into it. So I'll just cover it up now, and we'll go and get the oven ready while that's maturing away.
Yeah, well, the corned beef fritter recipe, yeah, well, that's one of those ones where all the measurements are 2 tablespoons of this and 2 tablespoons of that, because I actually have no recipe. It's just, I know what the ingredients are. I can remember that much. It's usually done when I'm coming home from the pub and I've got a couple of blokes with me and we've had a few beers, and what do you got to eat? Corned beef fritters and tomato sauce. Yeah, it's a great one.
Okay, so we're going to make the corned beef fritters here now. I've got my batter. I've got a nice hot camp oven floor with a little bit of rice bran on it. That'll give it some nice brown colour. I've got my slabs of corned beef here, and I'm basically just going to throw them in. We'll get a couple in here, and drop that one. Dunk him around, get a good heavy coating, plenty of batter on him. What I've done with the camp oven to get the right temperature is I've shoveled out some coals, I've sat my oven on it, I've added some oil, and I've basically walked away for about 5 minutes just to let everything mellow out. And I've come back and had a look, and I've had a test of it. It's running pretty good at this stage, so I don't need to add any more coals. I don't have to bring the heat up. I don't have to lower the heat down. I've just let time and nature do its thing. I've waited for it to come down to the right temperature, and I'm ready to go. So that's just how you do it. There's no knobs on a camp oven. You've just got to figure it out. So anyway, here goes the first one going in. Well, the best thing about being the camp cook is when there's no one looking, you get to taste all the food. So this is all ready. They'll be back here shortly to the camp and they'll be hoeing into these corned beef fritters. But I think I'd better test one out first. This little fella here looks like he's got my name all over him. I'm just going to cut him in half. How about that? Beautiful. And of course you can't have a corned beef fritter without tomato sauce. That's hot. And it's very nice.